advantages of having this platform right here that you're now seeing me is that I get to tell you my exact story, my exact truth. As the kids like to say, I can tell you my side of the story outside of the media, as far as um, cable networks, newspapers, and things like that. And that's what I do as a freelance. Um, but I can really tell you that, along with the advantages of having this medium, excuse me, there are also tremendous disadvantages. For example, you could become an ex Hall of Fame football player and having a channel just like this one, finding the opportunity to interview anyone and everyone because you have access to these people, and you find yourself interviewing a famous comedian, someone who's been in movies and feels that he has been misrepresented, so he tells his story for about over 2 hours. Now, as this ex Hall of Fame football player, you find that your numbers are going up than you ever imagined. Now, people are starting to come to your program to be interviewed and hope to have the same success viewer wise, right? To have your numbers blow up in the millions. And more guests come on with their stories. The numbers keep increasing. So things are looking pretty good, right? Not so fast. That's not where the story ends. Let me tell you how the story ends. You are now a target, being this ex Hall of Fame football great. Not only that, but now you take shots from people in the profession that usually, as the young people like to say, clowns people. They talk about your sexuality, they talk about your masculinity. Guess what? Even add a story or two about being contacted to be on your program. You, of course, not taking that, call out this professional, saying that you got the receipts, saying that when you see them, something's going to happen. Well, the professional is not going to take that line down, so he says, hey, guess what? We want to go? We can go like that. Hence at a little gunplay, like we always do. So all I can just tell you is that the response leads to another response by someone who used to be in entertainment. Now he doesn't do that much anymore entertainment wise, as far as I know. But even he has something to say. And he calls you out because in an old program that you were on, you had a co-host disrespect your career, disrespect your legacy. Decided to go with another Hall of Famer who at that time was currently playing. Said that you weren't that great. And say, wait a minute. Now, why would you give this other co-host a pass when you didn't give this professional a pass? And now, something that you thought was great when you had on the funny man as your guest, and your numbers increased and your numbers blew up and your numbers really just were astronomical. Now you are target for everyone else. Guess what? You're just like any one of us now. They calling you out. They coming after you. You that person. You that boy that everybody's coming after. And that's how the story is going to end. You see, when it comes to this, there can only be one ending. And that one ending is crabs in the barrel situation. You can never blow up. You can never be successful. You can't be at the height that you want to reach at. You got to join the rest of us in the barrel. We can't let you succeed. We don't want you to succeed. You got to stay with us. How dare you blow up? How dare your numbers get up there? How dare you think you better than us? It don't work that way, son. Either you join the rest of us down here, or we're just gonna call you out. Don't worry. We know how to get you. Because guess what? We're very successful at that. We are the masters of doing that. In case you don't know the full story, it's a very sad story in our community, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Spending time as an educator in one area and having to tell the young people, you know, how to keep themselves quiet and all this and that, and they see what we do, and so they're going to imitate what we do and what we say. I could say the example I shared with you had to do with the sad saga right now as it stands of Shannon Sharpe, Cat Williams, Mace, Mike Epps, and all the rest. And I'm saying this from the perspective of an educator who's worked in an area where young people see all this. And guess what? They're probably clowning each other on this platform too, thinking that all that's funny. Ha 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 ha. Shannon going to somebody. Ha 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 ha. That Negro ain't gonna do nothing. Right? That's how your sons and daughters or other folks talk that way. Young people are going to imitate what we as adults share with them or reveal to the world with them. We just finished with Black History Month. All the accomplishments that we made in this colored hue are supposed to mean something. All the speeches from Dr. King or Malcolm X or the triumphs of a Harriet Tubman or Mary Cloud Bethune, Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass. All that doesn't mean anything. Because what our young people see in the present, right now, that means a whole lot to them. They don't care about historical figures. They don't care about these great heroes and sheroes of the past. What did they do for me? They ain't do nothing for me. I don't care about them. That's what they would say. But it's important, man, that we as adults have to be that example for our young people. And in a medium like this, we're going to have to be that example for them in the way that we speak, the way that we treat each other, the way that we communicate. Now, grown people are going to do grown people things because that's what they do. And it's not for me to judge one person or through their actions. I mean, we all act a different way. We act the way we feel is the best course of action. I could say that I would not be going after people if they're talking about me, and trust and believe they talked about me too, and still do. And I'm talking about students. As adults, we just have to be much better than this. We can't teach our young people anything about Black history and then turn around and act like we ain't got no sense. If we gonna say, hey, James Baldwin has sense, but we don't. We talking about the accomplishments of Benjamin Bankier, right? Hope I say his name right. But we don't care. We're not going to do well in mathematics. We're not going to do well to build our own Washington, D.C.s. And therein lies the problem. When you're trying to build something like this, and the reason why I keep pointing to this is because most of the time, we are our own worst enemy. We are. There are a whole lot of instances where other factors contribute to our setbacks outside of our little family. But within our family, we should know better. We should do better. We should always try to be better without someone saying, you think you're better than me. You know how many times I've heard that in my lifetime? Because I speak a certain way. Oh, you think you white. No. I just read a lot. And I had parents who, one, did not have the education that I had. And two, gained her education later in life. But I mostly read, spent time in the library, and that's how I'm able to speak the way that I speak. But we treat that as a sentence where people think that you're better than someone else. Was Frederick Douglass better than everyone else? He had to be. But he cared for his people. It didn't mean he thought he was better than his people. He just cared for his people. And that's the way that we have to be moving forward. If someone is trying to be successful, if someone's trying to make it, and yet things happen, I don't know Shannon. I think we're close in age, but I am as far away from him as he is from me, in terms of just knowing each other. But I can just see what the effort he's trying to do to build something, and yet at the same time, we ain't gonna let him build anything because we're too busy trying to tear another Negro down that think he's better than us. Now, the guests he put on, I've seen news programs where they put on controversial guests in the past, and those news programs have blown up. He can't do the same? He's not allowed to do the same? No, he ain't. He ain't allowed to do the same because we ain't let him. He ain't no doggone news magazine. And yet, in that profession that he was in media, in sports media, where he was an analyst, talked about the game, talked about what adjustments Team A had to do with Team B to become a co-host of a sports show, which someone who really expresses too much love to one football team, and he should not be doing that, in my opinion. And Shannon's got to sit across from him and listen and all these gripes or what have you, and being disrespected. Totally disrespected. That ain't journalism. That's favoritism. That needs to stop. So I don't really know Shannon's journey other than the fact that he's had a tough road of it. And he's using the platform that you and I are using right now to build his name up there. In the same way that I write books to build my name up there, right? But it's hard. It's hard. Because we don't like it when someone who looks just like me wants to do better. We got to tear each other down. We don't give up. We just don't. And it's a shame because Black History Month just passed. And if anyone needs to really give up about that, we need to continue making our own history instead of tearing each other down, because we've already had outside forces who've done that to several black townships and several black establishments in the past that no longer exist. So we can continue being this way, tearing each other down, or we can just have a straight out disagreement and just say, okay, bro, I don't really like that, but I understand what you're trying to do. So now that we're in March and we're past another Black History Month, crowded with the Super Bowl, all these award shows, whatever, we're going to have to make a big time decision amongst ourselves now. Do we want to progress, continue progressing as a people? Or do we want to continue to tear each other down and feel good about that? We can talk about everything we've been trying to talk about for the past 6 years, right? And these are very legitimate demands and conversations that we're having. But until we start acting like we have some sense, the outside society ain't gonna care like we ain't caring right now. Hope you like what you heard, because just how I like to say. If you like this content and other content, please subscribe down below. And you can go upstairs to the banner and check out my website and other sites that I'm on. If you want to complain, you want to agree, you want to, whatever you want to do, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But until the next time, I really like to thank each and every one of you for your support. Please continue to support me as my new book comes out, Strange Tales of Science Fiction, due out this month if I can get it going. And until we see each other again, take care.